stop. This is a random angle, bitch. I'm turning on the camera today because we're filming a fucking reading vlog yet again, baby. And I don't have any plans with this reading vlog. I've just turned the camera on because I feel like it. I actually am in the middle of filming a reading vlog for the Hollow Boys, but I've decided to take a pause, take a break with that series for the time being because I'm in a book slump. Like straight up. I guess this video will be me trying to get myself out of a book slump. I need to read some standalones, alright? Because if you look at my track record, like my reading record for the past like month, I've been devouring series after series, like the Morelli family series. I read a lot of San Mariano. I've been binging a bunch of Mafia series. I also binged and vlogged the Legacy of God series. So I need a freaking break and I need standalones. But not only that, I'm slumping because of God of Fury. Now, I am someone that doesn't read a ton of male romances, and there's no particular reason why. Like, it's not like I'm against them. I actually love them. Like, every time I do read a male romance, or just a romance in general, whether it's reverse harem or like a throuple, whenever there's male action featured, I love it. I also find when I read male romances, and I don't know if it's just because it's the ones I've personally read and chose to read, they always hit me in my feels. Like, they're always emotional in some sort of way, whether it's to do with characters' mental health or they're going through like a sexuality crisis. They always just tend to spark a lot of emotion in me, and I just really love them. So because of that, I want to read for the fans. This is so hyped up, like beyond, okay? I don't know anyone who has not read this and disliked it, and from what I've gathered online, it is extremely spicy, like next level spice. I'm hoping everyone is true to their words, and this does bring the spice. I actually started it last night, and I do want to buy the paperback today as well. I'll order it on Amazon, but I'll give you like a bit of a roundup on what I have read so far. I am only like 10% into the book. This is also a giant book. Like, it's massive. It's huge. It's huge. It's huge. Like, when I downloaded it on Kindle, it said like 15 hours of reading. I just want to state right this second, before I talk about the couple that I'm currently reading, I don't particularly like romances that feature a hell of a lot of social media. This one already is featuring a lot, and obviously it's called For the Fans. So I am assuming these two male characters get on OnlyFans. I haven't got to that part yet, but I am assuming so. Also, before I started reading this, Nyla had written a kind of, not a warning, but just kind of an explanation about what to expect from this book. And she just kind of said, I don't do trigger warnings, and just a heads up that some of the topics of conversation and struggles with the characters within this novel may be triggering. So yeah, we've got Avi. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, but I'm just going to say Avi for now. 16 years old, living with his mother, currently going to high school. His mother is single. His father passed away when he was a young child in a tragic accident. And he is a artsy kind of creative guy that smokes a lot of weed, and already him as a character, I am lolling, laughing, smiling, giggling in 10%. I feel like he is going to be swoon worthy McGee. There's just something about him. He's real cheeky and I love it. He's not a lost soul per se, but he kind of is at the same time. Like, he kind of just floats around life, and he doesn't really have a strong sense of self just yet. But who does at the age of 16? Like, let's be real. And he's a bit flighty and just kind of like gets distracted easily, but you know, he's just doing his thing. And he has a really close relationship with his mum. So when his mother comes home and says, I'm dating someone, he does kind of freak out at the beginning because it's always just been the two of them. And, you know, the thought of letting someone else into his family is a lot to kind of take in, especially because they recently moved from Brooklyn to Boston. The guy that his mum is dating also has a son who is the same age, and his name is Kyron. And Kyron is your typical quarterback high school guy, okay? He's a jock. And he obviously had a pretty tough childhood and has a tough relationship with his father. He's already hinted at that his father, you know, was quite hard on him, and he definitely is the type of guy that puts on a facade, suppresses his emotions, works really hard to get good grades. Like, he's amazing at football, he looks good, he takes care of his body. There's an image to uphold, and he can't let that image falter. There's also been a bit of a hint. I think he may have gone through some child abuse when he was younger, because he has said that his father is a strict, like, Irish Catholic. And there was one particular scene where he's like having a meltdown, and he mentioned that he went to tell his dad something and his dad denied him, and he ended up breaking down and crying. So I think he may have been sexually assaulted as a child. Anyway, their parents get together, and instantly, straight off the bat, like, it's the first encounter, they fucking hate each other. Like, completely and utterly hate each other. Why? I don't know. It's not Avi. It's not on him. He's like, why can't you just try and like me? Why can't you just, like, get to know me? And let's try and have some sort of, like, relationship. We don't have to be close, but we just need to try and get along for our parents. And Kyron's just like, I don't owe my father anything. I hate you, motherfucker. Like, get away from me. You're all up in my space. You're taking things away from me. And I think because Kyron's father does treat Avi differently and lets Avi get away with certain things, it's really upset Kyron. So it starts off when they're 16, and we have a couple of chapters of what kind of happens early on with them becoming stepbrothers. And then they head off to college, which is where I've gotten up to. They end up going to the same college, which was not the plan. Avi is, you know, figuring himself out. He's, you know, hooking up with girls, he's making new friends, he's living his life, and him and Kyron, for the most part, have been separated. Avi's friends have encouraged him to take on the job as the football mascot, and they're like, imagine if you took this on. Like, it would be so much fun, but also, like, it would fuck with Kyron. So I'm pretty sure Avi is going to take this job on. I don't know when they're gonna fuck. I don't know, because right now, though, I kind of feel like with Kyron, how much he hates on his stepbrother is pretty intense. And I'm like, hate that strong is always connected to something. If you don't feel anything towards someone, you don't care about them. You know, if you're like, I hate this motherfucker, it's either because you're in love with them or they really did fuck you over, like, big time, and did some horrible things that you have not forgiven them and yourself for yet. Hopefully I enjoy this. It's a long read. I don't know how long it's going to take me to read, but yeah, I'm pretty psyched. I'm keen for some smut, and I'm keen for, like, a new favorite. I'm looking for new favorites because I was actually going to film today. Like, I was going to film a normal video, and I thought, oh my god, let me just, like, film, like, my current favorite romances. And then I went through Goodreads and I was like, well, the last couple of videos have been reading vlogs. So you guys have already been seeing what I've been reading, and before that I was reading just straight up fan fiction for ages, and I've already done videos on that. So another reading vlog it is. My double chin probably looks crazy right now. But I'm laying down reading, and I don't even give a fuck what I look like right now. Dude, this fucking book is divine. No, but in all seriousness, it's a slow burn, that's for fucking sure. Nothing's even happening between Avi and Kyron yet. But Avi has just signed up to OnlyFans, and he's now a creator. I was wondering how this was going to play into the story, just because it didn't start off with any of them being a creator in the first place. But their family's gone broke. The dad's business went under. So Avi's like, I need to make some coin. And one of his close friends, one of his close girlfriends, is a creator, and she's like, get on fucking OnlyFans, brother. Like, this is where it's at. You can make all this money that you need to keep the apartment on campus and kind of survive college if you just get on there and make some content. Like, you're an attractive dude, let's do this thing. Like, I'll give you some tips and some pointers and get started. So then, like, the next fucking scene is Avi filming himself, and just from that scene, that was so like steamy, smutty, fucking spicy as. Like, he was just fucking masturbating, and I was like, bitch, please. While he's like jacking off. I can't believe I'm like reading a smut scene and like explaining it on camera, posting it online. No, but he's like jacking off, and he's like got his eyes closed, and he's picturing like someone else coming in and joining him while he's filming himself, and he's picturing someone bigger, warmer, more masculine, someone that's like similar in size to him. And then he explains his sexuality and how he's always found himself to be a bit more like fluid, but he's never had this like intense desire or need to hook up with a guy. Like, he's never really seen a guy and gone, I want to hook up with him, I want to fuck him type of thing. So he's just always labeled himself as straight, but like he's not. So I am just really interested in seeing how the fuck Kyron ends up with Avi and they end up filming together. Like, how does Kyron, because Kyron's Kyron, if you've read the book, you know, like, how does this come about? Anyway, that was hot, that was sexy, that was hot as fuck, spicy, and that's just like one, you know, solo scene with Avi. So I can't even fucking imagine what these motherfuckers are gonna do on camera together. This book is great. Slow burn though, I think I just said that. It's very slow. I'd also classify this as a sports romance because Kyron's playing college football. And there's a little bit of it to do with that in the book so far as well, which I just kind of skip. Rude car. I just kind of skim over because I'm not like a sports bitch. Anyway. Oh. Girl. This is going to get me going. I already know it. I already fucking know it. Is this going to be one of those books that I read late at night and then roll over to my fiancé and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean, bitch. You know what I mean. Don't lie. It's mid nap time and I'm currently reading for the fans, and I needed to turn on the camera because we need to fucking dissect this shit. I'm enjoying this novel so fucking much. I can already tell that this is going to be a 4.5, possibly a 5-star rating book. I just cannot get over how fucking erotic and sexy this is. I have fallen in love with Avi as a character. He is just exactly how I pictured him at the beginning of the book. He's fucking cheeky. He's funny. There's something so sexy about him. And I really love how he's navigating this relationship with his stepbrother Kyron. I already know Kyron. We've got a deep backstory here, all right? I'm only almost 40% in, I think, or maybe it's even 30%. As I said earlier on in the video, this book is quite large, so we're on day 2 of reading it, and it's taken me a minute to get through it. But though it's so big, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm enjoying it so much. Nyla could have fucking written 200,000 more words and I would be okay with it. I'm just captivated by the man. I love this push and pull, like enemy, like, no, sorry, scratch that. It's not enemy, it's hate to fucking love. Oh my God. Kyron's fighting his feelings, and not really like his feelings, but his attraction towards Avi so fucking hard. We've already gone through a couple of scenes of them filming content. The first one, like the threesome, oh my God. Oh my God. And then the second one on the couch in Avi's fucking dorm. Oh God. Oh God, bitch. This is spicy as fuck. It gets you so flustered, man, because it's so detailed. And because both these guys have never experimented with other men before. Like, their bi-awakening is happening with each other. Their sex scenes, their smut scenes, their interactions are very unique because they're kind of like working through how they're feeling, how their bodies are responding, and enjoying it at the same time. Does that make sense? Like, it's just different. It's not like they're just going to Pound Town and they're like, yeah, bitch, I love it. No, they're like, oh my God, this feels good. Oh my God, this feels good. And it just adds another layer to the fucking story. I feel like Kyron is gonna break my heart. It's gonna be hard. He's gonna have a really difficult time coming to terms with this. He already is struggling with the fact that he's attracted to Avi and he's enjoying these sexual kind of encounters with him. But wow, it's so fucking smutty, man. Like I just can't even get over it. And I love the friendship group. Like I love B, I love Frankie. Like I've loved the girls that Avi's friends with. I'm also so interested to see like how just how the rest of the story pans out, but how their parents are going to respond to this. I'm really hoping I tear up. I want some heartache. I want some heartache. And I feel like, especially with Kyron's backstory, whatever he's working through, whatever he went through when he was younger, that I am going to have some emotional fucking damage. And I'm excited. Just gotten to the point where they have like agreed that they're going to have sex with each other. By the way that fucking Avi speaks to him when they're like, the way they just both speak to each other, and Avi's just so casual when they're like doing things, sexual things together. Like even the whole how it came up about them fucking, like it was after they hooked up in the bathroom and Avi was like, I think we should fuck. And just the way I pictured it in my head, I was like, oh. It got me going, bitch. But anyway, yeah, I've just gotten up to the part where they have been, you know, enjoying some butt play to figure out who's going to bottom, who's going to top, because they're both quite dominant characters and quite masculine characters, even though Avi is kind of like the artsy dude who's not a jock. He is still very masculine and he is dominant. So they're like, they're battling each other. Who's going to be, you know, the man? The man. And yeah, they've just like explored butt play. And of course, Kyron, he loved it. He loved it. I'm so glad I'm reading it right now. It's exactly what I needed after reading God of Fury. Totally. I don't know what I'm going to read after this. I don't know if I'll continue trying to find some more male romances. I do have a feeling that I should read Losers by Harley LaRoe, because that's been on my TBR for ages, and that is a reverse harem, but I'm pretty sure there's a bi awakening featured in that novel as well, and that's a duet. So maybe I'll chuck that in this video too. I don't know. I definitely want to read that though. It's been like circling my mind for a while. I have it on my bookshelf. I have it on my Kindle, and I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna love this. Anyway, it's been about 10 minutes since I finished For the Fans. I cannot with that book. It was like exactly what I needed, and I'm so glad I read it. I need to just say right now, before I get into like the spoilery part of the vlog, that it was a 5-star read. I knew it the moment I started reading it that it was going to destroy me. I'm whispering, by the way, because my kids asleep. But I stand by what I've been saying in my most recent vlogs, like reading vlogs. There is something just so erotic and beautiful about a man falling in love with another man. And Avi and Kyron's story to me was very special because they both were on a journey of discovery together. Though they didn't mean to do it together. They kind of just, it was fate. They fell into each other's laps and were experiencing parts of themselves that they didn't even know existed, or parts of themselves that they had suppressed. So many parts of this story that I was swooning, like, my God. And the spice was spicing the entire fucking time. I don't come across a lot of romances that have that type of chemistry on paper. It was bleeding off the pages, bitch. If you've read the novel, Avi's a pretty free-thinking person. And he had stated that his sexuality was kind of fluid and like he doesn't really think about it deeply, where with Kyron it was a true traumatic battle within himself to admit and come to terms with the fact that, you know, he was gay. The one thing that I absolutely loved in this novel was the reaction from both their parents when they decided to be honest with them about their feelings for one another and them sleeping together and being attracted to one another. Like, just the acceptance that was in this book was just beautifully written. and I really felt it. Like, I was almost tearing up. I didn't quite cry, but almost. As well as Kyron's backstory, that really got me, like his trauma, what he went through, why he ended up putting on this facade and pretending to be someone else for many years. What he went through, unfortunately, is really common for a lot of people, a lot of gay men, a lot of men, a lot of women too, and it's heartbreaking. That was the bit that got me going. Like, that's when I was like, oh my fucking god, my heart, like I felt it twisting in the cavity of my fucking chest. I just love this book so much. It's definitely going to be a favorite of all time, which is just cool to come across because it doesn't happen often for me. I read a lot of romances. I love a lot of romances, but to find a book that is going to be like forever one of my favorites, something that I will reread. So we know For the Fans is one of my all-time favorites now. 5-star rating, loved every fucking minute of it. I highly suggest you read it. Even if you're new to male romances, try this out, bitch. You don't know what you're missing. I don't know why I love male so much. Like, it's just elite romance reading. Like, Spicy McGee, all the feels, all the trauma, all the everything. And we know as women that men have a hard time with their emotions. So you always know if you're going to read a male, there's going to be a lot of emotional turmoil. And that is one of my favorite things to fucking read and just dissect and look at and enjoy. Anyway, because I loved this so much, I was planning on reading Losers by Harley Laroux, and that is still on my radar, and I may pick that up this week. I'll update you when I'm looking at you, boo.